Inonotus obliquus, commonly known as chaga, is a fungus within the Hymenocetaceae family. It's a fungus that predominantly grows on birch trees in the northern hemisphere, although it has been reported to grow in more southern regions, such as Minnesota and Ohio, on aspen and elm trees. But interestingly enough, the birch tree is actually what gives chaga many of its medicinal properties. A feature worth mentioning, although it does not apply to chaga and it is not totally universal, is that many of the bracket and conch-like fungi within the Hymenocetaceae family grow in coniferous forests on conifers. So that could include pines and larches, for example. So the mycelium is what makes chaga have that charcoal-like exterior that you can see in the image, and it usually manifests as a conch or a mass, as you can also see in the image. One of the most characterizing features of fungi within the Hymenocetaceae family is that many of them kill the trees that they infect. So chaga is one of these, and it does this by infecting the tree through wounds, and it'll establish its spores in the heartwood of the tree and will eventually decay and decompose it and then eventually kill it. In terms of physical characteristics, it's very difficult to pinpoint universal ones because there are so many variations within the Hymenocetaceae family. It's a family that has over 487 species and 27 genera, so there are just endless variations. And this screenshot I took from fungikingdom.net beautifully highlights that. As you can see, there are some fungi that grow on the ground and some that grow on trees, but this is just a small selection of them. So for example, Coltracia cinnamomea and Coltracia perennis are two fungi that grow on the ground that are more mushroom-like, and they tend to grow in disturbed areas such as on hiking trails. And then you have the middle and bottom rows, which include brackets and conchs and even some shelves, which are definitely more common in the Hymenocetaceae family. And I also took this screenshot from fungikingdom.net, which includes two very interesting fungi. So for example, Philinus igniarius is a fungus that is not in the same genus as chaga, but it is surprisingly similar in terms of exterior appearances. So you can see from the image that it is also more of a mass, and it also has some of that charcoal-like exterior. And then, interestingly enough, you have Inonotus dryadius in the bottom right that is in the same genus as chaga, which is Inonotus obliquus, but it's a fungus that grows on oak trees, and rather than causing heart rot, it causes root rot, which, as far as I know, is basically does the same thing as heart rot and kills the tree. And then you have the interior bark of the chaga, which is very cork-like and woody, which is actually surprisingly common in conch and bracket-like fungi in the Hymenocetaceae family. So many of them have this woody/leathery interior and even exterior texture, which is I would consider that a more universal feature. And then here is the distribution chart of chaga. You can see it's a very northern growing fungus, and here are my sources. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.